first. Me and Dad harvester. We going down the road. We're going to my Uncle Jesse's house. What's left of it, to collect up all the old Ford tractor parts and things that are left over after all these years. He's been long gone for many years. They've been renting the house out, but his daughter's finally decided that she's going to clean up and get rid of everything that she doesn't want. So we're gonna go clean up what's left, I guess, and load it in the cow trailer. My Uncle Jesse's place was 200 acres. My great-grandfather bought back in the Depression era, and he was a postal carrier, and back in them days nobody had any money, so he bought right at about 400 acres of land during the Great Depression and that time period around it, from a postal carrier's salary. That's how bad things were. So this is one of the pieces down here. It's all been chopped up into little pieces ever since then, but since it got sold off. But anyways, it's his house, his old house. But his old house burned down. Barns are all gone. It's all subdivided. But the house he built after he sold the farm is still there, so that's where we're going. I'll show it to you when we get closer. We're not here yet. My Uncle Jesse's land used to start right here and go all the way to the end of the road. Of course, none of these houses were here then. And all that woodland back over that way wasn't here. It was all open field. Everybody's got to destroy everything they get their hands on around these parts. This big old farm over here to the left, that man, he was smart enough to be a doctor, but he couldn't deal with blood, and so he built this beautiful farm over here, like a 50 cow dairy barn, and beautiful laminate wood and the top of the barn and everything else, and he milked cows, farmed the rest of his life. This so before my uncle, sold everything, he built this little house right here, and to live in. He was going to give his son the other house, the old house, and he built this little house. Anyways,
go that way, Daddy.
Yeah, we will. We're gonna let Pop-Up get in there. Anyways, he kept this little house, like 10 acres or something, and the rest of this got sold off. Back in the day, they had run the farm into debt. So, and you'd think this is crazy, but it was like $60,000 in debt, and they didn't know how to pay it. Over there, where the edge of that house is. You can see the silo over here. The old house used to stand right there by that white thing across the driveway there. Was where the old house used to be, and the barns were all behind those trees. There's some sheds and stuff still over there, and the silos. And the hardware stores used to stand right next to it. But, you know, we went in there years ago and took all the feed trawls and loaded up all the feed trawls and things because the new owners wanted to get rid of things. And so we went in there and hauled all the cow feed trawls and stuff out of there. And, but anyways, the end of the road here did not belong to him, but his went right down the side here. But yeah, they had run the farm into debt. They didn't know how they were going to pay for it. My uncle, he was like 70-some years old at the time. Him and his wife, 70, getting up in age. They didn't know how they were going to pay for it, so they ended up selling the farm to pay the debts off. Dad tried to buy some of it, but it didn't work out. It had already been sold by then. So it's how the cookie crumbles. But anyways, he lived in this little house here for the rest of his days, and him and his wife, and then eventually he passed on, and she passed on, and well, over the years they've been getting rid of what was left of the farm machinery and things like that. Of course, the biggest tractor he had was the TW10, and everything else was Ford 5000, 4000 SU, 8Ns and 800s and things like that. But anyways, let me unplug myself here and unplug the boy. Get that out of my face. So they built this nice little shed here, put his tractors in. This is where his garden was, back of the house. Somebody had been clearing over here a little bit, clearing some of the brush out along the property line. Dad's over here trying to hook up to a tire because there's a bush growing through this tractor wheel. He's trying to pull it out. I don't know if it's any good or not, but we're going to drag it out. Maybe.
Is he going for it? Come on, truck. Come on. This tire.
I think that's not attached. That's not attached. It's just growing through the wheel. He thought that was attached. It's not attached. But yeah, this farm over here belongs to the local Mennonite clan. It's a pretty good chunk of land. It used to be a real nice fancy farm in its day. But unfortunately, like everything else, this piece is still here, but the rest of all this got chopped up in little bitty pieces compared to what it used to be. Well, I'll show y'all another day what we brought home. It's dark now. We got to moving some stuff around the shed so we get some tractors back in there. And I didn't want to film down there when she was around because, yeah, I don't know how she feels about that. But anyways, we ended up with a 3-point hitch, 15,000 kilowatt generator. He Dad believes that's how much it was. And tractor wheel for an 8N or a Ford or whatever, 800, something like that. And it's basically useless. And a whole bunch of tire chains and some little odds and ends. Dad had already brought a bunch of stuff home earlier today. I ended up with a tractor starter and a bunch of new tractor parts and things like that was down there. So we just went back to get all the heavy, rusty stuff and drag the junk away because she wanted to clean the place up so that she can just have her stuff there instead of all the stuff for the past 30, 40, 50, 100 years accumulated over the time. But y'all like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all later. And thanks to any new subscribers for joining us. September 1st, y'all. Here's some of the stuff that we brought home. That wheel's pretty much junk. Bunch of junk wire. Got a chain hoist, a bunch of tire chains there. He pulled the generator out. I don't know what he did with that. There's some more stuff that he got. Yeah, buckets of stuff. Wagon pins. Parts, nails. Starter. Cranks. Screws, drill. Just little stuff. Some Ford tractor parts. A bunch of buckets full of randomness. Maybe some useful stuff in there, I don't know. Tire chains. Funnel. SMB. Little counterweights. Some electric gate stuff. Headlights. Just junk. Here's this generator. I'm gonna go with. He was sitting down messing with it. Hooked it up to something. Cause he's got the air compressor over here plugged into it. I don't know what he hooked it up to, but anyways. He probably had to 48. He probably backed the 48 up here to see if he could make it work. See if it worked. Got 2 PTOs. It is a ONAN. I have no idea. Tag on it. I imagine that's what my uncle used to milk cows with when the power went out years ago. Like I said, they didn't have a lot of big equipment. There was only a small dairy. They milked, I don't know, probably 25, 50 cows or so through most of their time in milking cows. And they milked in a stanchion. I don't remember, it was 4 or 6 cow stanchion, something like that. It's been so many years. And had pretty much milked all their cows in a stanchion barn. 1 cow at a time. And I don't know how many milkers they had in there. I don't even remember. It's been so many years since I was even on that farm. Of course, that building's long gone now too, probably. But anyways, that was probably his big generator that he used. I'm not sure, I don't know. Unfortunately, Dad flopped all this down right in the middle of the shed. With my plans of putting tractors in the shed this evening, I guess that's not going to work out so hot because he flopped all this right in the middle. And I got to move it again. So, anyways, y'all make sure you like and subscribe.